This is part 2 of Conversations with Lord Xerus. Oh, music's not even playing. There we go. Now it's playing. I'm the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, and with me here today is Lord Xerus himself. So, you were telling us about stuff. Please.
Yeah, sorry, I had to take a break. I had to visit the little nice room.
Right.
As you can imagine, that's quite an ordeal. So, thank you for being a pro and helping me with my copies. That was very helpful. So, yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, I discovered the magic of an angle grinder. And it is really it's just like playing with fireworks in your hands.
Yeah.
It's really nothing quite beats the feeling of, because you kind of always have this idea of metal being this really super hard thing that you can't bend it, you can't affect it.
Right.
And then when you realize, like, oh, all I need is this $20 tool from Harbor Freight, and I can just cut the shit out of almost anything. You imagine, it's just an incredible feeling of power that you got. And really, that's really more of the direction that my YouTube channel took is now I make a lot of adjustments to the armor, because as I was saying, buying armor is a journey.
Body armor is a journey.
No, buying armor. Sorry, acquiring armor is a journey. Because you start with little knowledge, and it's always a good idea. Now the smart thing to do is to join a group like the SCA, or if you instead want to do live steel, which is a little different. They fight with actual swords. You join one of the live steel groups like the ACL, or I forget there are a lot of acronyms. I can't remember them all.
Sure.
But there's a few of them. And I actually joined the SCA by mistake. I was actually looking for an ACL group that meets in the same park. And we just ended up finding the SCA kind of by accident. But we don't regret it, because SCA is a lot of fun. So at one point, I was acquiring armor with the thought of actually joining one of the live steel groups. So that's why I kind of jumped into the deep end, getting a lot of plate armor and stuff. What you're supposed to do is join one of these groups. They will lend you armor, and they will teach you what kind of armor you need. The loaner gear is important because you get acquainted with how it feels, how it feels to wear it, how it feels to get hit, how it feels to move in it.
Yeah.
And also you at the same time, if you're developing a persona, you're hopefully doing your research, finding out what time period you want to get involved with. For me, this was just the time I was born, so I didn't really have to do a lot of research. I was just there. But anyway, you're developing your persona, and you slowly, and you can start making your own gear, which can be very inexpensive if you know what you're doing.
Right.
With the right materials. A lot of people use barrel plastic to make their first set of armor. It's very light, very cost effective, and relatively easy to work with. And then you kind of graduate. The more you grow, you kind of graduate to harder materials. What I did, I entered it to an ass backwards. And then I went and just started buying the nicest armor I could find, and putting it on in a hodgepodge kind of a mess. So luckily, I didn't acquire too much armor before I got my head on right.
Right.
But I did do a lot of adjustments.
Right.
I had a pair of pauldrons, my first pair of pauldrons. As I discovered, they were made out of mild steel. And of course, just by the sound, mild steel doesn't sound like something you want to wear as armor. It's actually very common. It's the most common metal used, just because it's the easiest to work with. So you find a lot of stuff is made out of mild steel. But as it sounds, it'll get dented a lot. So mild steel, while being easy to work with, is also pliable. It's not as durable as, say, something like stainless steel or tempered steel. So anyway, I had a pair of pauldrons, and by the time I was done with these pauldrons, I had taken them completely apart, taken off all of the hardware, ground out all of the rivets, taken off all of the leather straps, and repurposed them. And that ass plate that I showed you earlier, actually parts of it came from those pauldrons. So you do a lot of repurposing stuff, because even if something doesn't work for you, you can take it apart and use the parts for something else.
Right.
These straps that are holding up my arms came from those pauldrons. So, if you're smart, you'll reuse a lot of stuff. And once you start getting in the mindset of, reuse, recycle, then you can really stretch the stuff that you get really far. I forgot what I was talking about. What were we talking about?
Armor,
right. So anyway, my YouTube channel is all about this, centered around that philosophy of you get something that you start with something that you like, whatever's something maybe outside of your ability. For instance, I can't pour aluminum into molds, so I ordered a part which was a pair of quillins for my sword, for a one-handed sword. I ordered them from a guy off of Etsy, Terradome Industries, that do really great work, and they make poured aluminum parts. So aluminum's good because it's lightweight. Because steel is really cool and it's authentic, but it's heavy as shit. You don't really want to be lugging around so much weight. It holds you back.
Yeah.
So I got this aluminum cross guard for my sword, and but I didn't want it to look silver because the default color is silver. So I divide through various experiments. I used patina, which I ordered from another company, to color it gold, basically. Of course, if you watch the video, you'll see my whole journey, So how I ended up coloring, how it arrived at the results that I got eventually.
And so, wow.
And to follow up on that, my full philosophy, no le temere ut sugeret, don't be afraid to suck. The meaning of that is that, I do it a way. It's not the way.
Yeah.
You might find another way to do it. Okay? Maybe even a better way. I'm just showing you a way. And I'm showing it, I'm doing two things. I'm giving people a step-by-step of how to do a thing. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this. This is how I did it. And then, if they can watch that, and then they can get their own ideas from that. Right. And say, well, I like what he did there, but I don't like that other thing. So I'm going to do this other, I'm going to do something else.
Right.
And they can do their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I never tell people, I never try to pretend that I'm the authority, because I'm not.
Right.
I'm just, some guy that I just happen to do the fucking thing that I like. And if they like what they see, they can emulate me. If they don't, they can do it another way, in their own way, and that's fine.
There's plenty of ways to build this stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
It looks pretty awesome. It sounds awesome, and it sounds like a pretty interesting and athletic, like communal sport to be involved in.
Oh yeah, it's pretty great. I mean, I gotta tell you, the first time that I was bowled over in a shield charge, I mean, it's kind of like you surfing and getting knocked off your surfboard. It's the most amazing feeling.
Right.
You see these guys coming at you, and you're like, well, I'm dead. Not a whole lot I could do about it. And then you just kind of lean back and let the wave carry you. Carry you a few feet into the dirt. So it was actually a lot more serene than I thought initially.
Now, when we first opened up the part one of the show, you were talking about getting really zenned out. Tell me a little bit more about that. How did you? What is that for you, and how did you discover it? How did you get into that? And like, if you had to explain that.
Oh, the head injuries mostly. Honestly, just getting hit in the noggin over and over again. It just has a real way of giving you perspective. Mostly headaches. But via way of headaches is a good foil for detaching your conscious thought from actually no, I don't know, man. What I can say is that in doing things, making things with your hands, it's a really good antidote, I think, for a lot of ills that today's society has. Right. Because today's society, you're all looking at your little demon boxes, spending all day clicking back and forth, and sending a tweet, and throwing shade, and having the feels, and composing, the best clapbacks, and all this stuff. And if there are journalists saying that this is one of the most loneliest generations ever.
Right.
And people are disconnected from each other.
Right.
And it's because people have adopted this life of just texting each other, of talking through messages. Okay?
Instead of actually...
Yeah, and if everything's on an app, nobody knows how to do anything. And that's not a slam on millennials. I wouldn't dream of doing that because it's not fair to slam people on something that they've been conditioned to do by the people selling them the things that they've been conditioned to consume. Okay? So what I'm saying, the antidote for that loneliness is connecting over something in the real world.
Right.
And one way to connect is to make things. And honestly, not even remove the social component from it. It's just a good way to build your self-confidence.
Right.
To build your self-worth. Because honestly, like, I don't give a fuck what people think about me. I mean, honestly, I have to edit the footage to make it sound like I'm not senile. To be perfectly honest with you. I'll just start talking and I'll just be like, this banana. Banana armor. I grind. Cut armor. So I have to edit it heavily to make it sound like I'm not a complete idiot. And that's just so people can follow along.
Right.
I don't care. I mean, if you get rid of the camera and I'm still having a good time, Well, I mean, I'm swearing a lot. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I'm enjoying myself, getting this thing done.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's like working on your motorcycle. You're having a suit of armor. It's like having a lot of ways, like having a motorcycle. You're working on it. You're always shining it up.
Yeah.
You're trying to find the best oil to put on it. Making it like actually. You look at my Sabatons.
Yeah.
Look how muddy they are.
Right.
And actually, because I didn't clean them this week, and actually kind of bad because and my knees. And because you fall on your knees a lot, don't ask me why, but it's because you get hit in the legs. And when you're leggy, you gotta fall on your knees. That's part of the rules.
Right.
So you get rusty.
Yeah.
So you gotta oil them up, and you gotta maintain it.
Yeah.
It is a machine.
Yeah.
It's not a complicated machine, but it's a machine. So you have to maintain it.
Right. There's a lot of effort that actually has to go into it beyond the self-adornment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think you're right. In terms of making anything, like really just getting into it and giving over to that action, that activity of like, my hands know what they're doing and I'm making this thing. Whether it's a suit of armor or clothes for kittens or, some kind of cool, people make hats, people make scarves, people make a bunch of stuff. And even if you do nothing with it but make it and put it on yourself, it's good for your well-being.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, we're kind of supposed to do it. I'm glad that you found an awesome, epic, hilarious... I haven't stopped giggling, and forgive me, but, like, it's automatically, like, insta-comedy.
What? What are you talking about?
Just...
What do you mean?
The jingles. Just...
The jingle? What?
The metal of the suit makes so much fascinating noise.
I guess, yeah.
Like when you were talking about dancing, like that just killed me. I have to ask you, Lord Xerus, a very serious question.
Okay.
Have you considered doing stand-up comedy?
Yeah, I have actually put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah.
I've written one joke. I've written one joke. Okay. That's about as far as I got. And I did start putting together a routine.
Yeah.
I feel like if I say it now, kind of kill the magic a little bit because a little bit of it has to do with some of it is kind of self-commentary.
Sure.
So it's I don't think I could perform it now for you now.
Fair enough.
Because part of it is. Part of the performance is very contextual. So I don't know if it would translate very well in a podcast like this. I can say actually that one thing that I constantly have been wanting to do is to buy a Cylon visor and install it in my helmet. But the trick is to get it to light up on command.
Right.
And I would have this. I'll tell you one joke. It's like I'm sure you guys know. By my outfit, I've had to start working here in LA, and I'm sure you can tell by my outfit what my job is. I'm an Uber driver. But But no, I did. I have done some acting. I have done some character work.
Oh yeah.
You guys ever seen? Oh God, what was that show? I'm gonna biff it now. Oh, Xerus, come on, Xerus. You're just right on the threshold. Don't give up. Don't let the brain fail you.
Battlestar Galactica. No?
That did, yes.
Yes.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Yes, thank you. Have you guys seen Battlestar Galactica? I did a bit part in Battlestar Galactica once, and that's what I would hit on my remote.
I can see it. Like the brick wall, the spotlight, the microphone, the awkward pause.
Yeah.
Right before as they introduce you, and then like the huffing and puffing of trying to squeeze in onto the because you don't fit quite right backstage through something.
Sure, yeah.
And then ka-clunk, 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 and then just microphone moment.
Yes.
And then open with that.
Yes, before I moved, there was actually a comedy club right around the corner from my house. And I did nurture these thoughts of going and doing some stand up. But I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen.
I think you should do it.
I should try. I need to write a good solid set. I need at least 5, maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Of material that I can use
with a good rhythm and a good. There's got to be. I think, in my opinion, what really makes a great first stand-up comedy set ever is nailing the close. You gotta leave it with something that's just you should have dropped the mic. That was so good, So I hope that you polish that up. The moment you have that, I want to be there at an improv open mic night, wherever you book it. I want to see it.
All right, put it in the queue.
Yeah.
Put it in the queue. I've got a lot of backlog of material. I mean, I've got probably at least 6 episodes in the can right now.
That's awesome.
So it's maybe I lose count, but I got several episodes in the can. I've got other different kinds of shows that I'm developing.
Oh yeah.
The whole point of this was I actually wanted to do book reviews because as some of you may know, I have a book. I didn't write it. When I arrived in this time, I murdered the author and stole all of his intellectual property. This guy named Al Romero, real douchebag. So I just showed up, and he's like, "Oh my God, it's a night," and I'm like, Do you have any valuable things?" And I'm like, "I wrote a book." And he's like, "Great." So I immediately stabbed him.
Oh my God.
Threw him in the closet and took all his stuff.
That's brutal.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, the book you wrote is it's this enormous book, and it's got these anthropomorphized characters, which are kind of like these Disney characters.
Okay.
Which I learned is actually in this world is kind of a hard sell because apparently people see these anthropomorphized characters and they automatically think of furries. Now. But I don't have a bad thing to say about furries. They're actually kind of cool people. I met some. I went to a convention one time. Nobody said anything to me. I wasn't. They just saw my outfit and just assumed I was dressed up for the convention.
Right.
And was a bit of fortune because I was there by mistake. I actually didn't know what it was until I went inside. But I thought it was kind of fascinating.
Right.
And they were really friendly. Maybe a little too friendly. But it was interesting. So, yeah. But anyway, this book, it's actually more of kind of like a high fantasy, really. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Which, took me it's like an 800-page book. It took me a long time to get through because I actually only learned how to read last week.
Okay.
So
yeah. That's the book. And where can people find it?
They can find it on Amazon. It's called The Tale of the Order of the Blue Maiden.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's cool. I have to be really honest with you. You gave me an advanced copy, and I have yet to actually read it. I'm a horrible person.
Well, it's a long-ass book.
It is a long-ass book, and I have been I'm very bad at being a human being. As my listeners already know, I'm not a particularly great human being.
Well, aren't you like a robot from the future or something?
Yes, totally.
Okay.
But I've already explained that to them. They know what's up. They're all caught up. So people can read your book. They can watch your YouTube videos. They can follow you on the social media, I take it?
Yes.
Yeah, you got the Instagram and the Twitters.
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter.
Lord Xerus on Twitter.
Okay, cool. And
it's hard for me because I don't know how to work a computer.
No?
No.
So it's hit or miss?
Computers are very baffling to me.
Yeah.
I went to the store. I'm like, I need a computer. And they were like, do you want an apple? And I'm like, I already told you I need a computer. Why are you trying to sell me a piece of fruit? So, but apparently that's how you make your moving pictures, is with this fruit.
Yeah.
So I purchased this piece of fruit, and now I make my videos on this piece of fruit.
Is that in your
in a
set?
metal box?
You should put that in your set.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that would make me laugh if I was drinking at a bar and you had a microphone
Probably.
on a stick, and you said it.
I also thought maybe that I could threaten people into laughing. Hold a sword up to their throat.
That's edgy. That's an edgy.
Edgy, yeah, exactly. The edge of my sword. Yeah, it's very edgy. It's sharp.
Right, it's dangerous though, right? Like,
yes.
I don't know what the law says about taking a sword.
You frown upon murder here.
Yeah.
I know more. Yeah.
They definitely do, generally speaking, and specifically in terms of law. So we, enough of that. But what other? You mentioned you got a lot of stuff, a lot of projects. What other projects would you like the world to know about?
Well, I mean, mostly my YouTube channel is the one I have the time to focus on. I don't know if I mentioned this before. I want to start doing book reviews.
Yes.
It's going to be called Lord Xerus' Book Dungeon.
There we go. The title. We didn't get the title. Lord Xerus' Book Dungeon.
And actually, I did, on a while back, I did actually put up an announcement on Twitter, and quite a few people sent me their links to their book. One individual sent me their book free of charge, which was very nice. So I need to make sure to follow up on that and start doing book reviews.
Right.
It's a lot of work, though. I mean, because you think about my videos, I mean, it's one thing to just film yourself fooling around in your workshop. It's quite another to have to string together 1,000 words about someone else's work.
Right.
So, and as I mentioned before, I only learned how to read last week, so that really affects my comprehension.
Right.
And my ability to analyze a work of literature.
So it's in development, and it's something that we'll hopefully get to in the not too distant future as you polish your skills.
Yes.
And literally your helmet.
Yes.
Great.
And also the audiobook.
There's the audiobook,
which I'm working on, which is actually quite a grueling task. Yeah, if you're listening to an audiobook, when you listen to an audiobook, really take the time to appreciate the time that person put into performing that audiobook. Because as I have learned, words are hard. Words are very hard to say.
Yeah.
The right way, over and over again. So it's just be grateful, just be appreciative. Even if it's not a good book, that's fine. You can judge the book on its merits, but give the performer a thought. Spare that thought for that performer.
Right. They earned it, right?
Yes.
It's hard work.
Yes.
Wording is a challenge, even under the best circumstances.
Yes, agreed.
And I imagine that, having just recently arrived from another dimension or time portal.
Well, I've been here for a while.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
But last week was the acquisition of reading.
Reading, yeah.
Okay, well, hey, however it goes. So do you know when the audiobook it's not done? Do you have a date? Do you know when it'll be completed?
Oh, no. Well, actually, I'm actually paused working on it to focus on the YouTube channel.
Fair enough.
And when I stopped, I was on like chapter 24.
Okay.
And here's the thing. If you start recording an audiobook, stop to listen to each chapter as you finish. Because I got, many chapters in, and then decided it was time to start editing, and went back and realized that I sounded like I was trained up on Ambien the whole time for like the first 5 chapters. So I had to go back and re-record most of that.
Right.
Because I sounded like I was just like, I was just watching my own funeral. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. I was so morose and dejected, and it sounded like I was like, sleepwalking.
Wow. Through your own funeral. That's intense. I hope that the new version sounds better.
Yes, well, yeah.
Are there plans for another book? Because I know that was a monumental effort stealing your first one. Are you going to follow up for the fan base with others?
Yes, there's already some plans in development. I've already contacted a wizard, my wizard friend, Invidarius Invidril.
Okay.
And to resurrect Aramero. Because, hey, we need some more material here, man. So we gotta bring him back from the dead, reanimate him, and then hopefully his reanimated corpse has some good ideas.
Right.
I've looked through some of his notes, and it looks promising.
Okay.
This first book took him 20 years to write. So, I mean, it's really something. I mean, it's really rich with detail. And he recognized that, the culture has changed, and that there's a lot of growing demand for young women in adventure stories and having agency in their own stories. And while, the first book, there are some very powerful female characters in it. But he says that he feels like, if you read his afterword, he says he feels like he didn't go far enough.
Right.
So he's writing a prequel that focuses on the female character who really is at the heart of the story. And she has her own quest with some of her own female buddies.
There you go.
And it's more of a girls' night, girls' quest, So yeah.
Cool. So that's some exciting stuff to look forward to. And let's see. What would you want to when you meet new people? What do you want them to take away? What's if you had a secret or a lesson to share with humans? What would it be, Lord Xerus?
Well, like I say, I always say, no le teteme utsuhiret. Don't be afraid to suck.
Right. So that's really, that motto is not just your motto to have a motto. It's it's really fundamental for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really. It's like I keep saying, the only way to do something is just to do it. If you think about something too much. I mean, it's good to make plans. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But if you sit around and overplan something and never get around to it, what was the point of that?
Yeah.
So, I think it was a Picasso who said that don't delay, don't put off something tomorrow. You might die. Can't fool me again. No, I think that was somebody else.
That was somebody else who said that one.
Right.
If you could be anywhere tomorrow, where would that be?
The moon.
The moon?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I hear they got really great beachfront property there.
Okay. That's news to me. I'll have to look into it.
Sea of Tranquility. Ever heard of it?
Yeah. Actually, now that you pointed out, I have pretty shitty memory when it comes to names. Faces, I'm pretty good. Which is something else. Do you find that people are intimidated by your overall approach and or demeanor when you're out and about doing things in the world?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're curious. I've had people come up and ask me, what is your armor made of? And I'm like, steel. And then sometimes I'm like, what armor? And they're like, the armor you're wearing. And I'm like, that's my skin. So.
Which is the truth, which is the lie?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Okay.
What's really weird is that kids love me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. They just find me fascinating to no end. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm not really particularly fan of children myself. So it's not mutual.
Right.
I mean, I don't get it. They're small. They're not good at talking usually. They're not that interesting. But they just find me, fascinating. It's like, I think, go to Disneyland and kids have a fascination with Darth Vader.
Right.
I'm like, that guy would kill you in a second, right?
Yeah.
He would kill you with his magic powers. He would just crush your esophagus without a second thought if he thought it would further his goals. And you want to hang out with this guy? I don't get it. So,
on the issue of good and evil, where?
I got to scratch an itch.
Oh, do it. Take care of it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry to get up. I get up in there.
It's okay.
Sorry about that.
I can imagine. I mean, you're literally sweating buckets in there. What was I gonna ask?
I don't know, man. It's your show. You gotta keep it together.
Yeah. Good, evil, right? Darth Vader. Everyone loves him. He'd snap your neck in a heartbeat. What do you feel about that? Like, what do you think is going on? Is there a spectrum of good and evil, or is it two monolithic beasts destroying it? Like, what's your position there? What do you got to say about all that?
Well, honestly, it's about the journey. I mean, you can start in one place and have really solid ideas about that, but then, end up in another place where those ideas are reversed.
Right.
And I told you that I, back in my old life, I was something of a crusader, and I'd go to places and conquer them, and kill a lot of people and think I was doing right.
Right.
And I learned a very hard personal lesson, which is, taught. I had to learn humility because I was abandoned. I was abandoned by my army and captured by the enemy.
Right.
And so I lived for a time. I was captive by the enemy.
Is this in your book? In the book?
Oh, in the Tale of the Order of the Blue Maiden?
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay.
That is a group of that is the story of a lowly servant who seeks to become a knight and goes on a quest to rescue a princess. But then the princess doesn't want anything to do with him.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And so that ends up in a huge battle with some really awesome things. Let me tell you some of the awesome things that are in this book.
Okay.
Okay?
Tell me.
They're the little mouse characters that ride a frog. Okay? That's just fun. That's just fun, no matter how you cut it. Little mouse guys, they just get on a frog and ride him around.
Like a horse.
But you get a horse that can jump a mile in the air. It's just freaking fun, okay? And no matter how you cut it, right? And so there's a huge battle, and there's a giant werewolf. Okay? Not a regular werewolf, okay? Because in a world full of anthropomorphized character, that wouldn't really be that impressive. Okay? This is a giant werewolf I'm talking about.
How tall?
Oh, like the size of a skyscraper.
Okay. That's epic.
And then there's also a magic castle that grants wishes.
Whoa.
Okay? It's a magic castle that grants wishes and it transforms. Okay? This book is just bananas. You don't understand how bananas are. It starts off a little slow, okay? I grant you. It starts off a little. There's this little kid, and he's like, the other kids are picking on him, and he's like talking to his mom and stuff, and his mom is like, don't do that, and blah, 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 blah. And then this new kid comes into town, and he makes friends with this new kid, and there's this weird, mysterious kid that is like nobody understands him, and he's got carrying this little rock around, and it's kind of a weirdo.
Yeah.
And his cousin also comes to town, and his cousin has kind of got a traumatic past, And then these thieves come into town, and then the shit really hits the fan. And there's this this princess who just goes on the loose, and nobody knows where she is, and everyone's trying to find her. And they go off and to find her, and she finds this magic castle, and that's really when everything goes shit ball bananas. So you just got to read it, and then you're in a sacred geometry, right?
Yes.
There's even a little thing about sacred geometry in there.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah. So if any of your listeners dig some sacred geometry,
right? Yeah.
It's all a little on the down low.
Nice.
So
I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Cool. And so the prequel idea sounds awesome, and so does just the general spin-off of armor making. It seems like there's definitely a lot that your audience must enjoy engaging you with. If you could write right now any kind of book and just poop it out in a day, what would it be?
It'd probably be my autobiography.
Yeah.
Because there's there's a lot of different stories that actually thematically wouldn't go together in one book.
Okay.
Because my life has been a lot like those animes that they make where make an anime over and over again, but each time the characters have different backstories and stuff, or like they're just completely different, or sometimes they don't have anything to do with each other.
But they're the same?
Yeah, my life is like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but, the story I was just telling you about, my formative tale, when I became who you know and appreciate as Lord Xerus, is where I'm going on a crusade and I'm a captive, and I think that's a very important story to tell.
Right. So I look forward to hearing that's come to fruition and available for people to read. Do you play music? Am I mistaken, or do you create music?
I dabbled. I composed some music.
Yeah.
And by that I mean that I had a servant that I yelled at until he composed music that pleased me.
Right. Through your creative input.
Yes.
You crafted it together.
Yes.
I like that kind of process.
Right.
Is that available somewhere for people to listen to?
No.
Oh, it's a shame.
Some of my videos, sometimes I edit in some of my own music.
Okay, cool.
I haven't done that a lot.
Right.
Mostly I use some stock music. No.
Okay.
No, nothing that I can think of that's
ready
for consumption.
No plans to to invest more heavily in that for yourself?
My intention, if I ever were to start composing music again, it would be for my videos or for my stories.
Right.
They wouldn't really be independent of those things.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully we'll get to see some of that, because that's always fun. And I had another question I wanted to ask. While we're here and I'm spinning wheels, are there any questions you want to ask? Or any crazy ideas we haven't touched on that you want to spend a second really riffing about or sharing about?
What's Twitter?
It's a thing on the interwebs. It's a platform where you share your thoughts in very short, truncated passages, and people talk about stuff and get news.
Is that what YouTube is too?
Sort of, but it's more like the videos. Yeah, it's more like people produce episodic video content.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because I'm just taking a lot of stuff on faith.
Right.
Because I only recently learned how to use your demon boxes.
Right.
They're filled with magic lightning. So this is very confusing for me.
I'm sure.
Because sometimes it's I'll try to do something and don't know how to do it. So, and then it turns out that no, you can't do that with PowerPoint. You have to use Final Cut. And then I don't know what that is. And then, you're defeated by a terms of service spell.
Yeah.
A spell of terms of service. And then you're trying to do it and edit, and then you can't do it.
It doesn't let you.
Yeah.
Technology is a tricky bit of magic, which inspires me to ask you, what, if anything, do you miss the most from your previous, life in another time and another, what from that era, from that part in your backstory do you miss?
Oh, gosh. Well, I have to say that, dealing with problems is really a different animal. Back then, if something was really a problem, you could just smash it with a mace.
Right.
If something just really bugged you,
yeah,
you could just pick up a club and just beat the ever-loving crap out of it.
Right.
Rocks, trees, buildings, people.
Right.
You just crush it.
Just
crush it out of existence. And with very little consequences.
Right. Not so much today that way anymore.
No. Yeah. Now there's a lot of, you Google it. You're Googling it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of almost as satisfying, but
not quite.
Not quite so much.
Right.
If you got sick of your life, you could just get on your horse and just ride somewhere and just make up a new name for yourself and tell people, I'm George. I'm Gorgeous George. And these people were like, well, Gorgeous George, welcome to our village.
Can't really do that so much anymore.
No, not anymore, because everyone's got Facebook got that facial recognition.
Yeah.
It's a real problem for me. The people see my face and it's just there's Lord Xerus.
Is there something about this contemporary postmodern thing that's new to you that is like worth whatever you gave up in the past? Like, what's your favorite thing about the future?
Pizza. It's just all the foods in one thing. It's just all the food on there.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you just had to, like, if you were in the mood for vegetables, you had to, like, go find the vegetable guy, and then hope he was alive, hope that he survived the plague, and that is if you had money. Because if you didn't have money, then you had to, like, work it off. You'd have got to go to his cousin's house and, like, work the mill, and then you work and, do favors to get everything.
Right.
And everything was like what are those machines called? One of those, everything was Lou Gehrig machine. No, what is that machine where?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like 15 steps to do.
Yeah, everything is just like,
what is
bartered
that?
for everything and, just to get a chicken. If
Right.
you were lucky. If you just, all you got out of your day was a chicken, like that was a win. You know what I mean? Now, you could just, all of those things, the vegetables, the chicken, the sausage,
Right.
beef, pork,
Yeah.
Lamb,
Yeah.
even if you want it, dairy, cheese, and the bread.
Yeah.
The bread is just an afterthought. The bread was a luxury where I came from. Here it's the plate. No, actually, I'm lying. We did use bread as a plate because I was rich, and so being a dick, rich dick, you're like, I'm using the bread as a plate. But then have the food all on it like that. That's just that's just great. It's delicious to food.
So pizza.
Yeah, pizza.
That's it is one of the greatest new wonders.
Iced tea.
Iced tea.
That's amazing.
Are you a big fan?
Yeah.
Standard or one of the weird fun variations like this?
Just sweetened iced tea.
Just sweetened iced tea.
I mean, you could drink unsweetened iced tea.
Yeah.
You could also just eat grass off your lawn. Like, why would you do that? You just go back out, grab a handful of weed and cram it in your mouth. But why would you do that? So yeah, go ahead and drink your unsweetened iced tea. It's just not for me.
I'm actually a fan of unsweetened cannabis tea. Just straight cannabis in a hot vat of water. It's delicious.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I mean, you just cook up some hemp.
Yeah.
Hemp and drink it up.
Right.
That's what's there. We used to call that hors d'oeuvres. That was just hors d'oeuvres for us. It's just like, hey, just got some hemp in a pot. It's boiled up, nice and delicious. Get it while it's hot. While there's still some wood burning the fire. Better hurry up because we need some of that wood to bake the bread. If we run out of wood, you're shit out of luck.
Right.
No more bread.
No more bread for today.
And you're done. That's it. That bread was dessert. So yeah.
Any final thoughts? Any closing? And your motto aside, what kind of message do you want to leave people listening to this recording right now, as we wind up this part 2? We've been going at it 45 minutes.
Guard your head.
Yeah.
Keep your guard up, because I tell you, when they get hit on the head over and over again, you get a real bad headache. So guard your head.
Right.
Practice your flat snap.
Your flat snap?
Yeah, that's an SCA thing. The people in the SCA will know that.
Okay.
I practice all the moves, not just that one. I don't want to list them all, I'm sure. It'd be very boring for you right now.
But practice.
Yeah, practice. Try the loaner gear first. Don't be like me. Don't get all the armor first and then have to retrofit it. Get yourself an angle grinder.
Yeah, I think that's some insight.
Use it at night. If you can't do that, watch my videos. I think if you're also like, when you do something creative, get your family to support you. Get them to watch your videos. If you write a book, get them to read it. Because they might be the only people who read it.
That's
to give you any meaningful feedback.
That's That is intense and rough, isn't it? Wise words to aspiring artists everywhere. And with that, my friends, I will thank you. Thank you, Lord Xerus, for making the effort. I hope you had fun on your adventure all the way out here.
Oh, wait, I got one more thing to say.
Oh, yeah, please, by all means, don't let me...
Stop shitting on Star Wars. We all know you hate Star Wars. We all know it's cool to hate Star Wars. Fine. Stop shitting on it. We get it. We heard you. It's not like your childhood. Well, I got news for you. Nothing's like your childhood. You're an adult now. Nothing's going to be as good as you remember it.
Ever.
There's a new generation. Let them have Star Wars. Stop ruining it for them. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the ride. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest.
I feel you.
I mean, yes, it's fine. You know, you would have done it differently. Okay. Me too.
Wouldn't have made the characters do the things they did, perhaps. So whatever, everybody, right? Like you're saying is like we all get it.
Yeah, we got it. We heard you, John.
Yeah.
Don't make a career out of it. That's just... How is that even possible? God. What a bummer. Anyway, sorry. That's just the thing I had back up there.
Right.
You know, it just started when people started shitting on the new RoboCop. And I was like, you know,
there's a new
let it be
RoboCop?
a new... Well, I mean, it's not new anymore.
Okay.
Came out like 5 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, it was the new back then it was a new RoboCop.
Sorry, I missed
And I like RoboCop.
I really am mad at myself because I love robot movies and I haven't seen the new RoboCop.
I mean, look at me. Come on. You think I'm not a fan of RoboCop? Thank you, citizen. Thank you for obeying the law. You have 5 seconds. You know? None of that stuff.
Right. Robots with armor and weapons. Totally. I wish you the best of luck in your book review endeavors.
Thank you.
I think that's going to be...
I find that's actually, a better path to success than actually writing a book. Because, so many people write books now that, you just if you meet 10 people, 3 of them have published a book already.
Right.
So it's like that's no longer, it doesn't quite have the prestige that it used to in my day. Because back in my day, you wanted a book. You had to start a religion and get a bunch of guys in there to spend 30 years of their life copying that one book.
Right.
So, they'd do it by hand. And then you had to pay them double if you wanted to get all the dick jokes in the margins. That's like the commentary today. It's like the commentary track. You get little farts and dick jokes in the sidelines there. But, I lost my train of thought.
Right. No, books are hard.
Everyone's got a book now.
So we're all going to become book reviewers.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I feel you. I've always wanted to make movies, and I'm really the closest I've gotten to it is a totally irrelevant movie review of movies. I just talk.
Like I said, just do it.
Yeah.
Just make a movie.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
You get most of the software for free now.
That's true.
Yeah.
Most of my problem is I don't like watching myself. Yeah, it's hard. I'm not into it. I'd rather make movies with other people, but that's for another time. As always,
I love watching myself.
Yeah.
I'm very handsome. I love my strong features.
Yes.
I kind of have no neck.
Right.
I have a really short neck, but other than that,
you make up for it with the beard.
yes, with the visage of blue steel, as it were.
Yes.
You ever see me do blue steel? I'll do it for you right now.
Please do. Can you do it again, but with the helmet on?
Oh, what do you mean? I'm wearing my helmet.
Oh, that's right.
I think you're dehydrated.
I am. Actually, there's when you do the stand-up, you have to at some point, like, if I may give you an
stand
idea.
up. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no,
I've been sitting the whole time.
Yeah. But like, there's something really funny about like when you manage to like lock eyes through the visor, like there's something really weird and funny about it.
Well, I have to, because underneath the visor is just a flaming skull. So, I mean, it's...
Right.
Yeah, your earlier question, do people find me intimidating? Yeah, a little. But you know what? It's better than if I lifted the visor and it showed my flaming skull to them and their heads would explode. It's...
We want to avoid that.
Definitely want to avoid that.
Right. Well, that's good to know. I hope that somewhere in your story, though, you get to work that angle, the flaming skull angle. Because, that's got to be some great visuals. Without, the head exploding part. I don't want my head to explode, so please.
No.
Well, it's been a treat. You're more than welcome whenever you want to drop on by or just, use the devil device boxes to communicate with me should you want to yell about stuff on the show in the future. And I hope that, you find success in all your ventures. Thanks for stopping by.
And to you, dear listeners, thanks for listening, as always. This has been a special episode of Conversations With, and today's guest has been Lord Xerus.
Do you have any cheese? I'm hungry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, let's do some cheese.
Just a big turkey leg?
Maybe.
Just like a solid turkey leg?
Just a solid turkey leg. Yeah. I think we might be able to...
gravy.
We might be able to put something together there.
Okay.
All right. Thanks again. Until next time.
Bye.